Hello and good evening. As promised, I'll be answering top 10 questions which I found most interesting in my yesterday's Q&A. Thank you very much for your questions. I do attempt that I get to answer each of your questions with utmost sincerity. So here we go with the first question. A book that shaped your life. Well, I can't really say one book that has shaped my life, but I've read so many over the years. Recently, I have reread Conversation with God by Neil Donald Walsh. I reread it because after many years, I just wanted a different perspective. Also, another book that I recently read, What I Know for Sure about Oprah Winfrey, not very recently, but a few months ago. That's one book that has given me a great life perspective. So I think those two books, if you really ask me what one book that changed my life, I cannot put one particular book, to be very honest with you. So I hope I could answer your question. Okay, the second question is, many times we don't want to talk to people whom we don't like. So how do we avoid the conversation? You always talk to people who approaches you with a conversation or say hello to you. You cannot avoid talking to somebody who's in front of you. That's not kind. That's not etiquette, and that is not polite. Even if they're your foe or your biggest enemy, you will always have to approach your greetings with pleasantries. You will have to exchange pleasantries with sincerity and kindness. So I would like you to avoid not speaking to someone who has approached you with a conversation. Okay, may I ask you why you always wear plain dresses and monochrome? That's very interesting, and thank you so much, Nivi, for asking me that question. Number one, it has always been my personal choice, long before I became a licensed image consultant, to wear plain and monochromatic tone over plaids, prints, and patterns. I've never been a great fan of prints and patterns. Only after I became a licensed image consultant in London, I also learned that prints and patterns are not considered to be quite credible in the corporate world. Solids are considered to be more visually credible compared to prints and patterns, and small prints and patterns, okay, not large scale. However, I do wear florals at times, minimalistic florals, but that's when I'm not working or not in any formal environment. So over the weekend, or if I'm spending some time with children in general, so I like to wear floral prints and patterns then, because that visually makes you look more approachable and friendly. I hope I could answer your question. All right, and then where do you get all the beauty and elegance from? You're too kind, Ed. Well, I think I'm quite ordinary looking, but if you think I have the slightest of elegance, that's not the credit I can take at all. The credit goes entirely to all my teachers who have trained me over the years, and I've been to many finishing schools, not only as a student, but also trained myself in London, Geneva, and America. So I've had many mentors, etiquette consultants who have mentored me and who taught me, so all the credits goes to them, starting from Mrs. Savira Merchant, who's been my first teacher. Okay, the next question is, I have a very soft voice because of which my decisions have been taken for granted. Well, a lot of ladies do have high pitch voice, so that requires a little bit of skills and training. It's very easy to do. All you have to do is some breathing exercises. So I would say breathing exercising, and start to speak slower. and fast. And always breathe in from your nose and never from your mouth. So, breathing in from your mouth gives you a horsey voice, which also affects our voice modulation and gives us a high pitched tone, which you would like to avoid. To have an authoritative voice and more resonance voice, you have to learn to modulate your voice and keep put more melody in your communication rather than a monotone voice. I apologize. So avoid speaking with a monotone voice. Just have some uh, melody. There are three to four tips I can think of for voice modulation, which is number one, always breathe in from your nose and never from your mouth. Breathe in from your nose and breathe out from your mouth. You can do a breathing exercise where you can hold your breath, inhale with inhale with 4 counts, hold your breath for 16 counts, and breathe out with 8 counts. So if you can do that a few times over the day, unless it makes you feel dizzy, so you have to take care of that. Breathing exercise is one thing, but voice modulation, you can also learn to read out poetry. That really helps in voice modulation. So the more melody you put in, and the resonance really helps when you do breathing exercises. Remember to take a deep breath from your diaphragm, as we call it. Take a deep diaphragmatic breath, and that should help you to get a more resonant voice. I hope that helps. Hope you're doing well and staying safe. Oh, thank you very much. Yes, I am. I'm trying my best to stay safe and in. I am, however, working and teaching online. Okay, the next question is how to be in shape. Like just I tried to work out, but still some tips would really help me. Well, do your best to work out, eat healthy, that is great, but to look slim, tall, younger and fresher, it's a trick in dressing, you know. You don't have to starve yourself just to be thin. That is not pragmatic at all. But try to use, again, monochrome tone. You know, another thing about monochromatic dressing is the eye to body, the visual impact from eye to body is in one line. There is no distraction with print and pattern. So when the distraction through print and pattern minimizes, you look taller, slimmer, younger, and fresher. And also you can do great color blocking. You can structure your clothing through added shoulder pads if you have a narrow shoulder. You can use great color combination, and remember, good color combination makes you look slimmer and not black and white. The whole idea of wearing black will make me look slim is a myth. It's a good color combination. It's a good strategic combination of colors that make you look slim and tall. Monochrome is better option than prints, patterns. Avoid large scale prints and patterns, and go for well tailored clothing. Let's talk money. I am really not the right person to talk money, but I do have a very efficient accounts team who keep a very strict check on my expenses, so I'm delighted. Um, for many of you who've asked me this question before, I would really like to suggest this platform on Instagram. You can check it out, called Lakshmi, Laxmi. It's head by Mrs. Preeti Rati Gupta. She specializes in finance and enlightens and educates women in how to invest strategically and smartly, how to secure yourself financially. And I think it is a great platform. I get to learn a lot from Lakshmi, and I think you would like that platform as well. Any online courses on finishing school program? Yes, we have our young adult finishing school program 2020, That will be starting from the 24th of May till the 31st of May, and it is young adult, so the age group is 13 to 19 years old. We have a few registration, but I think we have about 3 seats left. You may want to call Savoir Faire and check that. How to choose a right color combination for the right occasion. Okay, so the more formal the environment is, the more higher the color contrast goes. Now, it is business versus social. So, um, if you think, if you are in a business environment, the context of the situation should be considered. The more serious the situation is, where are you? Are you in a board meeting? Are you pitching to raise funds? Are you in a World Economic Forum? Where you are? So the contrast and the combination goes higher as and when you realize that the business environment is more serious. If you are in a more approachable, friendly environment in business, you can go medium contrast, semi formal. Now that is business. In social, the high contrast does not work with the occasion, but the color and the resonance of the color. What I mean by is more monochrome, more classy, more elegant colors, classic colors. For example, taupe red, phlegm red, perhaps an ivory, a cream, and a black. These are classic colors that you cannot go wrong with. Also, a new color that I really like is juniper green or a bottle green. So those are classic colors you cannot go wrong with when it comes to formal environment, formal social environment. And of course, my all-time favorite is a nice purple or aubergine color, as we call it. So those are the color combination. Also, when it comes to color combination, the more prints and patterns, once again, the more less formal the environment is, the more prints and pattern you can afford. The more formal the environment is, the more solids you have to opt for. How to look more polished in business formals, and could you recommend color combination? I work in finance. Great. So if you work in finance, so trust is a very big importance. Blue is a color of faith. You can by all means go for blue family. Navy, powder blue, great combination. Again, once again, remember the situation of the business environment. Where are you? Are you in Buckingham Palace? Are you in World Economic Forum? Are you in a board meeting? Are you pitching to raise funds? Accordingly, the color combination works. White shirt, navy jacket, navy suits does not ever go out of fashion. It is high contrast, level 1 formal business attire. You can also go more approachable tone where you are asking for funds. For example, you may not want to go for completely high contrast. You may want to go for a medium contrast, so just to look more approachable. So for example, you can go for a powder blue shirt, high thread count shirt with a navy suit. Again, when it comes to tie is a fabulous way to add some colors in your face. Okay, so that's the focal point. That's a visual focal point. A tie can enhance your face or diminish your skin tone. About tie, you have to be very careful and do hire a consultant just to give you the right kind of colors for your skin tone. Gentlemen, this is for gentlemen. That's one thing you must invest in is the color analysis, because men are not great with colors. My sincere apologies. But you can have a consultant who can give you great tones of colors that you can incorporate in your wardrobe. Just one tip: deeper color ties are for more formal environment. For example, if you're asking for funds, since you're working in finance, for example, if you're just trying to raise funds from investors, you may want to wear a navy suit, a powder blue shirt with a blue tie, solid and not plaits, compared to if you are on a public speaking platform. and addressing a large crowd, you may want to opt for a maroon tie, not a red. I don't want you to look like a parrot, but a maroon tie. Or a crimson tie, something in the red family. Red is a color of authority. So it enhances your personality and make you look more credible and authoritative. So again, the situation matters, the tie color matters. What you don't wear is a blue business suit with a yellow tie. That is too approachable. Unless your consultant does a personality analysis on you and tell you that you have a very, very, very um, authoritative personality already. So yellow tie is a fun tie which is less authoritative compared to a navy, a crimson tie. I hope I could answer a few of your questions, and thank you very much for taking time to write to me, and I hope that you have a fabulous rest of the week.